My camera's been doing this all day. Like, I've tried filming my October reading wrap up as well, and it just keeps moving. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are doing a book haul video. So I hope you're all doing really well and that you've got a beverage of choice because we have quite a few books to get through. These have all been accumulated since September, and as much as yes I said I'm going on a book buying ban, well, that didn't exactly happen. Although some of these you'll see are from publishers, gifted, some are subscription boxes, so yeah, it's not as bad as it looks. That's what we're telling ourselves. Also, this is going to be the last video with the October decorations. I could have taken it down for this video, but I love it. I love it. And you know what? Halloween is not praised anywhere near as much as it should be here in the UK. So we're going to have it for one last video. But let's get into this. The first book I got is Mdle, and this is by G.T. Kalbar, and this was sent to me by Souvenir Press. And I love this. This is fantastic. It is a puzzle book. It is a book that is filled with puzzles where you're trying to solve a murder mystery. It is so much fun. It goes up in difficulty. It's starting off with some that are really, really easy, and now I'm on the medium part and they are that bit harder, and I am loving it. I also love the fact that each mystery actually connects to one another, so it's kind of like an overarching story that's being told. I have loved doing these. I'm now up to number 32. I love having these to solve when I'm having lunch. So if I've got a day off and I'm doing a day like today where I've got videos to film, videos to edit, I like to give myself an hour's lunch break, and while I'm on that hour's lunch break I solve about 3 or 4 of these. So yeah, I adore these. I love trying to solve them. They are so much fun. Would highly recommend, especially if you like murder mysteries or if you just like puzzle books, or just give it a try. It's so good. So thank you again to Souvenir Press for sending me that, and let's get on with some of the actual novel. Within the Sanctuary of Wings, a memoir by Lady Trent, and this is by Marie Brennan. This is the 5th book in the series. I love this series. This is a series that I discovered earlier this year. Was it this year or was it last year? I fell in love with this series. It to me feels like a Jane Austen book with like the setting, the sensibilities, but you pair that with an academic setting that is around dragons. And while I say academic setting, we're not actually in a university, because Lady Trent is a woman of her time where she is told that because she's a woman she is not going to be recognised as an actual naturalist, and so she does things herself. She creates this safe place within her home for women to come and be able to debate ideas. I love it. I love the safe space that Lady Trent created, how she goes out on these adventures to document dragons around the world, and you're seeing the different things that she gets caught up in as a result, and some of it is politics side of things, and each book kind of explores something different. I love this series. It is one of my favourites. It is a comforting series, a new favourite author for me. I love Marie Brennan, and these are books that I could binge, but I've been taking my time with it because of how much I love them, and because this is going to be a series that once I finally finish the last one in the series, I'm just going to want to go back and start all over again. And this is going to be like a continuous reread for me, a bit like what Throne of Glass was like for me. So I love Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Absolutely adore Sarah J Maas books because I grew up with that nostalgia. Like, she's a nostalgic author for me, so I will always read her book. And I feel like Marie Brennan is the adult version of that for me. And so now it's going to be a case of where I used to reread Throne of Glass every single year without fail, I'm probably going to reread 1 or 2 of Sarah J Maas books a year, and then this is going to be the continual reread for me because I love it. I love it so much, and it's been a point of pride that I've been able to get a few other people to read this and enjoy it. Also in this, Lady Trent is an artist, so we do get artwork throughout the book from what she has actually drawn at that moment in time, and so you get to see it in here. And because this is a memoir, this is Lady Trent looking back on her life, so you will get comments about how she will say, I was very naive at this time and should have thought this through properly, and she'll comment on those sort of things, and I like that. I really like the writing style of this. I've always enjoyed the writing style where we're getting told somebody's story. It just really works for me. It's again, I think it's a nostalgia thing of being told stories when I was younger. Love this. Can't wait to read it. But I know it's not going to be anytime soon because I'm going to take my time with this series, and I'm really happy to do that. Don't know if you do that, if you know that you've got a book that you're going to adore, and so you keep it to one side knowing it's going to be there and you're going to love it, but you don't need to read it quite yet because it's going to be so good, and you know you're saving it for that moment where you're like, that's exactly what I needed. That's what I've been doing with these books. Moving on, we have the third secret project by Brandon Sanderson, and this is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Beautiful edition. It's in this soft kind of blue leather, very beautiful. It has lovely end pages and artwork throughout it. I'm not going to go through all of it because I know some people may not have received. I think they should have received this one by now, but likewise I have the fourth one. My one actually came really early, but I'm not going to show it off just yet because I know a lot of those are still being shipped out, so I'll wait to show that one. I don't know what this one is about, but I'm not sure if this one's part of the Cosmere or not, actually. Some of his books are part of his Cosmere, some of them are standalones from it. I just know I love his writing, and I do look forward to reading this one. I just think it's beautiful, and I think it would be a really nice story. If anything, to go by the fact that I've read only one of these books so far, so this is the third one. I've only read one. I read Trust of the Emerald Sea, and I really enjoyed that story, so I'm hoping that this is going to be another one that I really enjoy. But that is a fantasy book, adult fantasy. That's what Brandon Sanderson is known for, and Cosmere is this kind of like universe that he's created where he has a bunch of books that all kind of connect together within this universe. Brandon Sanderson is another really like kind of like an auto-buy author for me. There's been a couple of his books that I haven't got on with as much, but that's normally in the minority. But adult fantasy, really good author. Would recommend. Then I got two more books sent to me by the publisher, and I actually got these sent to me from Orbit, which was amazing. I was not expecting this. I was so excited. I didn't expect it. I'd actually forgotten. Orbit did a post on their Instagram about you can try and get these sent to you, like you can join in and we'll have a look at your socials and see whether it will work. And I thought, you know what, let's just try it. I'm probably not going to get these sent, but it'll be good to be on their list and on their notice anyway. You never know. And I completely forgot about it because that was weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and I just assumed I'd never got anywhere with it. And then I got sent them, both of them. I was so surprised. I didn't expect it. I think in that video I was just literally like, oh my god, it was all over the place. But this is a fantasy romance series that blew up on TikTok. It's kind of for fans of Sarah J Maas, which, as I've already spoken about, that's always a good thing for me. So we have the first and second book. So we have The Trial of the Sun Queen and The Rule of the Aurora King, and this is by Nisha J. Tooley. This is about a woman, Law, has endured 12 long years of torment under the Aurora King's rule. Her only desire is to escape and pay him back for every moment of misery she's endured. When a surprise release finds her in the hands of the Sun King, Laura is thrust into the spotlight as she competes against 9 other tributes for the role of queen. If she wins his heart, she'll earn her freedom and finally get her revenge. But the other tributes will stop at nothing to ensure Laura is removed from the competition permanently. Sounds really good. So we have competition, forbidden romance. I think it's forbidden romance. I hope it's forbidden romance. I love a forbidden romance. I find fantasy romance a bit like when I was reading Magnolia Park. They're just a fun, easy read, and these are books that I want when I've been on an early shift because I have no brain cells. I've been up since 5:30 in the morning and I want to read, but I don't know what I want to read, and I just want it to be easy and fun and something that I don't need to pay too much attention to. And fantasy romance is brilliant for that. And so that's what I think I'm going to do with these. I'm going to save it for when I've been on an early shift, when I'm really tired and I just want something fun and entertaining to read. And I think this is going to do that really well. I actually have really high hopes for this because of the fact that it's likened to Sarah J Maas. And I know a lot of fantasy romance is, but I don't know, there's something about this that I just think is going to be really good, and I love the fact they've sent me the first and second book. I do think this is probably going to end up being a series that I could binge read, so I'm very pleased to have both. So once again, thank you to Orbit for those. I picked up Hercule Poirot's Christmas. I know I mispronounce his name every time, I do apologise, and this is for a video that will be coming to you in December. So I think you can see where we're going with this one. Very excited for it. It's Agatha Christie, murder mysteries, this time around Christmas. I am not one of those girls that can do a holiday romance, but a holiday murder, that sounds like a fun time to me. So holiday murder is what's going to be coming your way in December. Very excited for this. Maybe not on Christmas Day, but in December. Anyway, another Agatha Christie, we have A Murder is Announced. This is the part of the Miss Marple series. This series that I'm slowly trying to get through. I do want to read Miss Marple books before I go on to the Hercule Poirot book, with the exception of the Christmas one. So yeah, very excited to continue on with this one. I've been really enjoying the Miss Marple series. I've not solved a single frickin' Agatha Christie murder yet, but I am loving reading the book, and so of course needed that for when I get to this one. Then I got sent a gift from Naomi, so thank you so much, Naomi, and that is the first binding by R.R. Verdi. Very excited for this book. I have heard some mixed things, so some people love it, so Naomi loved this one, but then Danny does not like this one, but that's because Danny's read A Name of the Wind. Now I love Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and this book has been criticised for being so similar to Name of the Wind. So I'm really intrigued as to where I'm going to fall with this, because I adored Name of the Wind, but we still don't have that third book yet. And so I'm kind of excited to read a different author's take on that. And I'm not normally bothered if things are similar, because if it's a formula that I like, I'm going to keep going back for more. So I think it just depends how similar this all is. And it does sound very similar. I buried the village of Ampur under a mountain of ice and snow. Then I killed their god. I've stolen old magics and been cursed for it. I started a war with those that walked before mankind, and lost the princess I loved and wanted to save. I've called lightning and bound fire. I am legend and I am a monster. And this is the story of how I let loose the first evil. This is very similar also with the way that this, so like the next bit, so it begins the tale of a storyteller and a singer on the run, hoping to find obscurity in a tavern bar. And that's the thing, because Name of the Wind, we have our main character Kvoth, who is in a tavern bar, gone into obscurity, and then this story chronicler comes up and says, hey, I want to know your story. And so he starts telling his story, and Kvoth is a musician. So you've already got a lot of parallels just in the synopsis of this. So it'll be really interesting to see whether I like it or whether I don't get on with it because of how similar it is. But I am really intrigued. I did originally want to get this when it first came out, but the hardback was massive and heavy, and I was like, no thank you, I'll just wait for paperback. And then Naomi beat me to it, so thank you again, Naomi. We then have The Will of the Many, and this is by James Islington. James Islington has actually done a fantasy series that my sister read and she really liked and suggested that I should give it a try. Never actually got round to it, but then I did get this one. Beautiful, by the way, absolutely love it. This one I picked up because it looked like it was going to be the winner for October's buddy read pick, or one of the month's buddy read pick. Like, there was a lot of interest for this book, and then it didn't end up winning, and then I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be November, and then it didn't happen in November either. I'm going to read this eventually. I'm really excited for it. So again, as part of Discord, we do have a monthly book club that we do, and everyone gets to put in different votes for the books that they want. The one with the most votes will win for the month, and that's what we're reading for the month. And I picked this one up in anticipation that this was going to win, because it was in the running for ages. Like, it was doing miles ahead of the others, and then another book kind of came out of nowhere and just swooped in and took it, and I was like, wait, what happened here? Not that I mind, it was a really good book. I think it was Mexican Gothic and I enjoyed it. I do want to read this one. I'm going to see whether they want to do this as a book club pick still. If not, then I will just read it on my own, because I think this sounds really fascinating. I'm really intrigued by this one, and I have heard nothing but good praise about it. So it's all about this elite academy, and we have a young fugitive who uncovers layered mysteries and world-changing secrets in this new fantasy series. We're following our character who says, I tell them my name is Viz. I tell them I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious school. I tell them that once I graduate, I will gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do, and all must eventually do. I tell them that I belong, and they believe me. But the truth is that I've been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart. I am really intrigued. I think this sounds absolutely fascinating. I don't know, I really think it's going to be a good one. Although, I've only just realised, how tiny is that writing? Holy cows. That writing is tiny. Oh lord. Okay, this is going to be a good book. Anyway, I have high hopes for it. It may end up being a book club pick. It may be one that I just end up reading on my own. I want to read it regardless though. I think it's going to be really good. Then I got a book that I picked up for £1, which I am very pleased with. And this is Penance by Eliza Clark. I do have Boy Parts by Eliza Clark that I have not read yet, but Penance honestly sounds more up my street than Boy Part. A decade after a horrifying murder, a journalist, Alec, who has written a definitive account of the crime, a dizzying feat of investigative mastery, Corelli's book is built on hours of interviews with witnesses and family members, painstaking historical research, and most notably correspondence with the killers themselves. The result is a riveting snapshot of lives rocked by tragedy and a town left in turmoil. The only question is, how much of it is true? And that just sounds fantastic. That does sound exactly like the type of thing I'm going to really like. So I look forward to getting to this, and this is one that I was tempted to buy anyway, brand new. And then I thought, I'm going to wait until I've read Boy Parts, and then I saw it for £1. And I couldn't leave it behind because it was £1. So, of course, decided to get that. And honestly, I might read that before Boy Parts, which I shouldn't do because I have Boy Parts on my TBR for over a year now. But I am really feeling Penance more. You have to let me know if you've read both, which one you think I'd prefer. But yeah, I'm thinking Penance. And we've got a book that I've already read, which is Richard Osman's The Last Devil to Die. This was the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and I love this. I buddy read this with Christina. It's so good. I had so much fun with it. I did annotate and tab a little bit. It was brilliant. I loved it. So the Thursday Murder Club is a murder mystery series, and it consists of 4 elderly people in this retirement home that get together every Thursday to solve cold cases until an actual murder happens, which then kickstarts this series of books. And each time they have a different murder to solve. They're different people that they've met in the previous books all play a role, and it works. It's so much fun. There's humour to it. There's also in this one a lot more talk about dementia. This one tackles on a lot more heartfelt topic, done really, really well, alongside obviously the murder mystery part, which is always fun to solve. I thought it was really good, and I feel like it was a natural progression for the Thursday Murder Club to take. I think it was really good. Highly recommend this series. It's one of my favourite cozy murder mystery series. Also a little bit inspired by Agatha Christie, by the way, if that's kind of spoken about much. But the Thursday Murder Club is very, very similar to a title which Agatha Christie had for a collection of short stories, which is The Tuesday Club Murders. Even the layout and the way it was all done, very, very similar. I think there's definitely inspiration, and then it's gone its own separate way from there. And then the last 2 books are part of the Locked Library book box subscription that I have. This was October's pick, and that is The Book of Witches, and this is a short story collection from various different authors, all about witches. So we have a pinch of fairy tale, a measure of myth, a dash of lore, a hint of horror, add a twig of broom and hair of cat, a hint of magic, the wing of bat. Then brew beneath the darkest moon, so witches will be with you soon. And that's literally the intro. It's literally just short stories about witches. Really like the sprayed edges on this one. I thought it was really good. Under the Dust Jacket, honestly it's nice, but I actually prefer the Dust Jacket. Like, I love that. Under the Dust Jacket is nice. Can't complain about that, but I do think they've done some better ones. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I do like a short story collection, so I'm intrigued to try some authors that I haven't read from before and just see if I like. That's one thing I like about short story collections, is it enables you to explore different authors that you may not have read before, and if you like them you can then look into more of their art, their work. I really like this. I think it was perfect for October's book box, so pleased with that. Future Kirsten jumping in here because I have a few more books to add to this book haul, so let's get straight into those. 2 of them were actually gifts from Suzanne, so thank you so much once again to Suzanne. I am so grateful for these. The first one is They Do It With Mirrors by Agatha Christie. This is another Miss Marple book. I'm slowly making my way through the Miss Marple series, which I think I've already spoken about in this book haul video, but yeah, this is the next one I needed to get, and I'm so excited. I love these, but what I loved even more than just the book was the little gift note. Oh my god, it was lovely. So it says, your video on the moving finger brought back my interest in Agatha Christie, so I thought a Miss Marple book might be a good gift. And I love that so much, because I love that I've been able to reignite interest in Agatha Christie books. Like, I'm so happy that you've been able to find that interest again just through me talking about these books. As I've probably already mentioned in this video, I do love Agatha Christie. Like, she is the queen of murder mysteries. They are just everything I like about a murder mystery book, and I'm so pleased that I was able to reignite that interest, and thank you so much, Suzanne, for gifting me this. That was absolutely lovely. But they didn't stop there. Suzanne also got me Tylor Blue by James Cahill, and this is a book that I've been so intrigued about getting. I honestly wanted to get this when it first came out, because look at those end pages. Oh my gosh, but it doesn't stop there. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. I'm really wanting to read this soon, but also part of me wants to save this for summer. This is a book where we have a professor who is a art historian consumed by the book of his writing about the skies of Venetian master Tiapolo. However, his academic brilliance belies a deep inexperience of life and love. One day a piece of contemporary art is installed in the lawn of his college and Don becomes obsessed with it, his anger eventually erupting in a public blunder that results in his expulsion from Cambridge. He moves to London to take up a role at a museum where he befriends Ben, a young artist who draws him into the anarchic 90s British art scene and nightlife of Soho. Over the course of a long hot summer in 1995, Don glimpses into a liberating new existence. I really am intrigued by this one. I really want to read it soon, but we are going into winter. So I'm like, do I wait until summer to read this one, or do I just read it regardless? Like, I don't know, because I feel like this would be really good to read in summer because of the fact it takes place over a hot summer. But I also really want to read it now. I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to let me know whether I should read that sooner or whether I should wait for summer if you've read this one, if you think it does really work for summer. I mean, I have loads of books to read, so I can wait. But yeah, so thank you so much to Suzanne for gifting me these. I was having a bad day anyway, and this was just so lovely. The reason why I was having a bad day is because the final book in this book haul, Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, I went out on publication day to go shopping for this book. I was so excited. I love doing that. I love going out on publication day to go book shopping. It's something that I just really adore. And yes, I can pre-order books, and I do that very occasionally. Generally, for books that I've been so excited for, I love the experience of going to the shop to go book shopping and to find the copy. So I did go out, and I've told this story a couple of times now, so I'm sorry, you're probably getting fed up with it. But when I went out on publication day, nowhere had this book. None of the shops in my local town had the book, and then I was looking online to see if I could click and collect at Foyles, at Waterstones. Nowhere had it. Forbidden Planet didn't have a copy. Like, nowhere had this, and I was so disappointed. And so then I came home to the book mail from Suzanne, and it just put a smile on my face. I was so happy. So yeah, so that was amazing. But I did, as you can see, get my hands on a copy, and I am currently in the middle of reading this, and my partner actually got this for me, so thank you so much. But this is A Curse for True Love. This is the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I love these covers. They're absolutely gorgeous, and each one, well, there's 4 different versions of this, so it's kind of a potluck when you order them as to what one you're going to get, which is also why I really like going book shopping for these, so I can choose and I can have a look and see what ones they've got. But it was fine because that was the one I wanted anyway, so it was fine. This is a young adult fantasy series that is very whimsical and very cute and very like warm-hearted and everything. Like it reminds me of just like the sweetest, sickliest sweet you can think of. Like, that's what this book is, but I love it. I really enjoy it. And is this usually the sort of thing I would read? No, because I'm definitely more of a more gothic person. I like things that make you question morality. I like murder mysteries. Like, if you've got a death in a book, I'm there. This one is the opposite to all of that, but I love it. I love it so much, and it is a really good palette cleanser. Also, my camera's been doing this all day. Like, I've tried filming my October read and wrap up as well, and it just keeps moving. And I don't know why. I don't know why it keeps doing this to me every so often. So sorry about the jolting of the camera. But yeah, it's just a really cute, whimsical read, and I really enjoy it. And I'm currently reading it, and I cannot wait to stop talking for this video update so I can get back to reading it because it's so good. Okay, but yeah, that's it. We're done. We can go back to Past Kirsten, who will wrap up this video, but I really wanted to mention those. Let's go back to Past Kirsten. And the final one I got is September's pick, and I'm very excited for this one. I really want to read it soon, and that's Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen, and this is a Picture of Dorian Gray retelling, and I love this. I actually really love it because this is an exclusive hardback edition, and it's only being done in paperback from what I can see. So I'm very excited that we've got an exclusive hardback of it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I really like this sprayed pages as well. Gorgeous end papers. Like, I actually feel like this is probably one of their best books that they've ever done. It is actually gorgeous, and I am in love with this. So this is a book I am very excited to read. We're following Penny, who is the daughter of a beloved icon and will do anything to continue her mother's legacy, including enrolling at the elite and cutthroat Dorian Drama Academy. When Penny's new mentor offers the chance to have a portrait painted by a mysterious artist who promises immortal beauty to all his subjects, Penny jumps at the chance to join Dorian's most glittering illumini, knowing that stardom will soon be hers. But then her mentor is found murdered, her portrait violently slashed, and as the bodies pile up, Penny realises she's made a terrible mistake. Really, really excited to read this one. I cannot wait. I actually really want to read this one soon. I keep thinking about it. I have so many books that I want to read, like just so many that I want to get to, and I never have the time. But this is one that I actually pre-ordered as well, and then it came in. I had the pre-order as a paperback, and then I had my Lot Library book box subscription of it, and I gave back the pre-order because I don't need both, and I'm of course going to keep this gorgeous exclusive hardback. I am so happy with this. So yeah, I think this has been, ooh, actually the other one that I adored, The Book That Wouldn't Burn, that was also a gorgeous cover. You can kind of see it in this stack here. This is my Lot Library book box stack, gorgeous edition as well. That one was very nice, but this one's also lovely. I think this one might beat it, just because The Book That Wouldn't Burn it did come out as a hardback and this one did not. Anyway, that's a tangent and we are at the end. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and you've seen a few books that intrigue you or that you may have already read. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. Do you want to read any of these? Have you read any of these? And what was the book that you got most recently? Let me know all of that in the comments below. I think for today we're going to do a simple book stack emoji. So if you have made it this far, as always, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you that watches these videos. It means the world to me. Please do put a book stack emoji if you've made it this far. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Those 3 things really help this channel grow. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.